nichts. Das weiß ich nicht.
Doch, macht die Hälfte dann vom Avatar.
Da ist Alan Turing. Alan Turing ist heute unser Kameramann hier.
Kameramann.
Ja.
Formerly known as your daughter.
Ach da.
Ja.
Hello.
Father of the Turing test, I assume, right?
Yeah, right.
Not so much.
So, hello to the world outside. Just a short introduction to the session today. We have our Thomas and Robert H. Hecht Monday evening meeting, and we three plan a so-called OpenSpace in the MetaVerse. And the topic in this OpenSpace is, of course, the three major buzzwords that are around the world right now. It's, of course, artificial intelligence. It's sustainability, because this is a pretty important part for all of us in the world. And the third one is, of course, the MetaVerse, because we are doing things in the MetaVerse. And so we not only talk of this topic, but also are in the MetaVerse to do this event. And it's starting in the third week of June. And this is the first idea to show you some first sneak peeks, you outside there in YouTube, in LinkedIn, and start the discussion, because it's not a thing we plan only and say, that's it. It's more a thing that we come together as a community, and you can give us input. We discuss this. And also, it's a pleasure from us that you are bring sessions into this. It's an open space, and the idea of an open space is that you do sessions that are from your interest. And so we invite you to bring in some sessions, and then we have this whole week here in the MetaVerse with 10 breakout rooms and a full bunch of potential sessions that you do, that we do. And today is the first idea to show you these open space in the MetaVerse, the first agenda, the first sessions, the first session planning, and two examples of potential sessions. Alex said it already. One is, of course, the World Cafe for Sustainability. And I started to build this area and start building the question. And this is one example for one session here during this open space in the MetaVerse. And of course, we are really excited about your questions, your input, and all the things we perhaps forgot or we do wrong or we can do better. So feedback is really appreciated and welcome. Okie doke.
Okay.
Then let's go outside. Today we play outside.
So it's very sunny here.
This is the website we produce, and sorry, it's in German, and I guess, Robert, we will do this in English as well in the second run, but I will translate it to you guys here, and we run short through this web page. So the first idea is really to save the date. It's the 19th to 23rd of June. So roundabout in April, May, June, in 2 months, a little bit more than 2 months. And you can join us with, of course, your headset with the best immersion, I guess. But you can also join on the computer, tablet, or smartphone. And the fourth thing is that we do a streaming, so that each and any session will be streamed via YouTube, via LinkedIn, so that people are also able to lean back, sit back, and just relax and enjoy the sessions. On the other hand, you have no chance to participate, but that's finally your decision. So these are the areas how you can join this event. And the idea is, of course, the 3 topics. So we start with sustainability, artificial intelligence, and the MetaVerse. And the special thing is that we are looking on, more or less the business, which means this is not something where we want to describe what is the MetaVerse, what is artificial intelligence. Perhaps there will be a session of people asking for this, but the more we will become and get the idea of how can these topics help you for your business? And especially in case of sustainability, what do you have to do in this area that your business is effective and valuable as well in the future? And so we think that these three topics are really most important for any business in the near future and also long term future. And our goal is that you will get a gut feeling how these topics can help you in your business. So we will really do some prompt engineering, I guess, in artificial intelligence. We will show about some pictures that are produced with Midjourney. And of course, one session came to me last week is a critical discussion about what are the risks and what is the potential of artificial intelligence. Especially if you look at Midjourney, you can produce photorealistic images that are, nearly like these images in the newspaper, and you can produce anything you want to produce and then put a headline on it, and then you have fake news par excellence. And this is what we will discuss also in a session here. These are the 4 things how you can join us. As I mentioned before, and the best way is with the VR headset, of course. There you have the best immersion, and we use Engage, this platform, so you have the chance to have Picos, Meta Quests, and HTC Vive as well. And this is also streamed via Steam. You can also join this means by a tethered headset to a PC. So you have all possibilities to join this via a VR headset. But in addition to this, we would like to give you the chance to join as well on computers, so on a Mac or on a PC, or on a tablet or on a smartphone. On a tablet and a smartphone, it's also pretty cool to really observe the sessions, be a part of the sessions. You can talk and discuss with us in the sessions, but you're not able to draw, for example, with your 3D pen, but it's pretty cool to be a part of this group that discuss some topics. So that makes sense for some of the sessions, but the best way, as I mentioned, is the VR headset, and of course the computer, a Mac or PC app where you can join the Engage platform. So you have all possibilities to be there. On the website is in addition a video that describes a little bit an open space. That's a different sort of event. It is more or less an event where you as participants will build the overall agenda. And there's an idea behind this format. The idea is that it's not a predefined from someone predefined agenda with topics we like, but we don't know whether you like these topics. It's more or less vice versa. So you bring in the topics and we discuss your insights, your needs, your questions you have in respect to your business. And that is completely vice versa, which means it's really more related to your interest than related to our interest and to our idea of some agendas. In addition to this, we have, of course, the chance to bring our sessions in, because that is what we of course will do. So we will have also sessions, but the additional point is that you volunteer or by accident, volunteer can join these sessions, which means you do not have to join a session. You are really free to choose which session you like. So it can happen that if I offer a session about whatever, virtual reality and gaming, and nobody likes this, then no one will join my session. And I will sitting there alone, which is okay, because it is in your interest. The idea is your needs. We will cover your needs and your interests in all these sessions. And that is all about the open space. And there are, you see it here on the right-hand side in this video, there are 2 roles, which is pretty nice. So we also will have some areas, some breakout rooms where you just can meet and discuss. And there are two roles. The one is the bee and the other is the butterfly. And the butterfly is a role which is flying around from corner to corner and meet people on any behalf in any area where people are standing around. And the bee is jumping from session to session and bring the topics into these sessions and get the own interests out of a session, but not a single one, but many of these. And this is an open space. So really the idea that the agenda is built before the event and the agenda is in your interest and we will cover your needs and your questions. If you bought a ticket, what will happen? Of course, the first thing is that we will offer a few onboarding sessions. So I think this group, there's no specific need to join such an onboarding session because you're all here. And for you, it's pretty easy to join these sessions. But for many people out there, there's still a need of how do I handle the headset? How do I handle the Mac, the PC app? How can I join such a session? And for this group, we will have onboarding sessions to show them how to use the PC, the Mac, the headset, and all this stuff. Yeah, Alex.
Quick question. Is the onboarding
Sure.
intended specific to the Engage platform or is it a
Yes.
general on? Great. Thank you.
Yes. So the main idea behind is that you really are able to navigate pretty elegant in these sessions here and are able to use the platform, use your microphone, use the all the tools that are here in Engage. So this is the beginning of number 2. So show you what is behind the scenes. So for us, we love to be open and communicate open. So for us, it's pretty normal to show you these things we are thinking about, we are building, we are producing so that we are really open in our communication. And this is number 2. So we want to show you anything. We want to give you a good feeling about this event and want to show you what we are thinking. And the idea is that we are the facilitators and you feel like home. So you feel very comfortable in this event and in all of these sessions. And if you give a session, of course, there is some extra work. So which means we will give you some advice, how to do a session, when to be there, and what to do, and what possibilities you have in these sessions using Post-its, using the 3D pen, and all this stuff. And finally, of course, number 3 is you attend the event, and you do not need to attend however how many sessions we will have, but you can choose the most important for your personal what is the right English word? Yeah, that sessions you need and you want to learn something, you can choose. Each and any session will be recorded so that if you buy a ticket, you have the chance within the next 4 weeks to get the session, get the recording, and take a look at it. And we do the recordings here in Engage, which means you can come back in the persistent session and then start the recording so that you see this also in 3D. It's not only all pure video, it's really an Engage recording you can join afterwards. So here's the first, here are the first 5 sessions we got. And this is created 2 weeks ago, and I will show you the session plan. We start to gather session ideas, and you can do this by sending us just a text message or a video, and in the future Thomas will implement a kind of a voice recording where you can speak onto to give us your session idea up front, and then we will put it directly into a sheet. Other participants can then give you a thumb up, and so we have a first idea what are the most related and the highest rated sessions there. And number one at the moment is and I guess you were already in one of these sessions. What are AI applications out there you can use for the virtual reality, for the metaverse, or for other business related stuff? And that's pretty interesting. It's growing. And if you were there in the session at the beginning of the year, and I think 3 weeks ago, there are 2 to 3 applications in the AI field that are an add-on. And there's another one that will join this nice group of AI apps here in this area. So this is at the moment number one. This is a nice one. So especially training education is a hot topic for the metaverse. And this is one we got from business process management. It's more or less a friend of mine. I work close together with a company in this area, and they said, well, okay, we want to do a session, especially do the coffee cooking process in VR. And Nikki, I think you was also at the SAP Signavio session where we start this, and from this area that session will come, and they will give and discuss with us the advantages doing some stuff in the virtual reality and in the metaverse. That was pretty cool. And in
so
addition,
that's about general training. Oh, sorry. Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So that's about general training for business, not about how to make coffee, correct?
Right,
Yes.
right.
Okay.
Especially this is, yeah. Perhaps finally you're able to do a coffee, able to make a coffee again. But this is the idea of learning what is a process, why do you need a process, and there's the first idea of how to parallel some things like the coffee machine and the milk cooking stuff. You can parallel this, and you have the first improvement of a process. And we will do this like a gaming. You have all the topics for a process coffee, for cooking a coffee, and then we will put it on the table. And they will also describe some, if you translate this then into a process map, how will you do this? So that's another step in this area here.
Excellent. Sorry.
From the same company, and you see the company name, it's BPM&O, is the idea of how can we do this in a kind of a fair? So if you establish a booth in such a fair, how will you do this, and how will you do in the metaverse here sales discussion, sales meeting? And I started this discussion already because it's pretty often a balance between, and you see here a little bit an old-fashioned booth in a fair we already know from the reality, or do we need to do things a little bit more spacey and more crazy and more thinking outside the box? And this is a nice discussion we have, and I guess we will have the discussion here as well if you share some ideas about how to do sales and how to do consulting in a fair or booth situation in the metaverse. Pretty interesting. And then, of course, sustainability and HR solutions in this area. And there's a whole workshop. You will see this in a minute in our session overview. There's a whole workshop with the method World Cafe we do in this area. And I'm pretty excited about this because the first one we did this in kind of a prototype. We had some guys from Africa, and it's so cool because the idea what sustainability is so completely different if we have some people from other areas in the world than our own identification with this topic, and to share this and discuss this is so valuable for yourself as a person or as a company. That is really awesome, and I really love to be the facilitator for this session. And that will be a really great one. And the final one, yeah, this is a discussion in our group where we said, well, okay, what are some figures and facts behind learning in the virtual reality? Is this really more effective? Is this better than in reality or just in Teams or Zoom? And this is we started here a nice discussion in our area, and we said, well, okay, let's do a session on our event, and this is the foundation here, the start in this area, thinking about, is it really better, or in which circumstances is learning in the virtual reality better? What is the right context there? I think it's not in any context better, and it's not the one and only thing using the MetaVerse for each and any learning, but there are circumstances and numbers and figures where it is more effective than in reality or in, let me say, classical digital areas. Finally, this is the team. So this is me in a reality photo, and this is Thomas there in the reality photo, and Robert as well with a nice photo. And these are the prices. So especially we have 3 different price sections. So number 1 is really a kind of team watching. So if you're an organization and you say, well, okay, these, whatever, 4, 5, 6 sessions, we just want to join and take a look. Then you have a team basic price for €49. If you say, well, look, I want to join this event, I already have a headset, I'm really staged, and I have all the things I need, then it's €349. And if you need a headset, you can have the €1,199 ticket, and you can choose from a Pico 4 or Meta Quest 2 as a headset, especially in Germany, Austria, where we can send it out. And you can keep this after the event as well. So if you have, pretty often you say, well, from my company, I'm not able to invest into a headset, but I'm able to join a conference. Then you can join the conference with this ticket price, and then finally afterwards you can keep your headset in your pocket.
Yeah. Shopping will be my part.
Yeah. So that's it from the organization of the event. What are your questions? Any questions?
Not at the moment.
I feel like
Okay.
I've already exhausted my questions. I was going to give somebody else a chance.
No problem. Just go ahead.
Sure, clear.
Well, I am curious about, first of all, I'd love to connect with you, Robert, and talk about how I might get involved and potentially present if you're still looking for presenters.
Yes, sure.
And particularly looking at both the training and the sales verticals that you've got. And I'm sort of curious, and my particular area of interest is around sales enablement and revenue operations.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, it probably fits in both, but I'm curious if you have a point of view as to how that slots into your agenda, potentially.
Yeah, so, and it's more or less then on yours, because what we said, you see here, this is our agenda at the moment, and you see
Hi,
it's
Alexandra.
pretty
draußen.
open. And this
Wo seid
means...
ihr?
Draußen. Folgt mir mal.
Ich komme dir nach. Genau.
Ja, super.
We're outside.
Ja, ich habe euch schon die
hier.
ganze Zeit gesucht.
hier.
Ich war schon überall. Warte mal. Ach, da bist du.
Hier.
Ich komme.
Ja, super.
There will be a live recording right now. So
Okay. Hello.
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 Super.
Hello. Hello.
Fantastic.
So
Hello.
this is at the moment the beginning, and there will topics and agenda points and session description flow in every day, and these are the one we already
Excellent.
we already have. And you see, we plan at the moment with around 10 breakout session rooms. And you see the names. It's Steve Jobs, it's James Watt, it's Marie Curie, it's Alan Turing, Hardy Lamar, Tim Berners-Lee, Ada Lovelace, Rosalind Franklin, Katherine Johnson, and finally Konrad Zuse. And these are the names for the breakout session rooms. And so we have the chance for 10 sessions in parallel. We plan around 15 to 20 people per sessions, which means at the moment we plan in between 100 and 200 participants. So that are at the moment the numbers we plan with. If we are overwhelmed, then we have 300, 400, 500 people. Okay, that's fine. Then we add additional breakout rooms that have so much more names of people that distribute to our technical environment and have some great things done in the technical area, so that I will not run out of names. And we will not run out of breakout rooms as well. This is the start here. So this is our MetaVerse in Engage, and we will be able to cover around about 1,000 people. So that is the overall number when we run out of what is the right of participants? So we run out of performance. That's the right way. But we think around 150 is a good thing, especially because of facilitator stuff. So I think the lowest part are really the people that are join the sessions and will be facilitators for you. That's why we said we will not have 1,000 tickets, but we really want catch this up by around 150. So this is a real border we will not go over because of the facilitators we already asked to help us in the different sessions.
And if I
And
could,
here you
Robert,
see-
just to be clear, I assume these
Yeah.
times are CET. Is that correct?
Yes, right.
Thank you.
That is right. So, and I switch over to James Marie Curie because there is another topic. So we have sessions, and at the moment I have 5 different workshops that people ask me to give them, and one of them is my own. This is the sustainability workshop, and I said, well, okay, it's a real cool thing to do this again, and the methodology will be the World Cafe. And what we do as well, before the conference, we will have a conference brochure with all descriptions of all methodology, because we are working here really close with ChatGPT 4. And it's really a nice thing to ask ChatGPT, give us a description of the method World Cafe, and then we have 2 pages of a description, and we say, well, give it us to participants that are not aware of this methodology, and then ChatGPT describes us this methodology in a much more elegant way, and we use this in our conference brochure we will distribute upfront to the event. And one of this is sustainability, and I guess there will be more in this area. This is a starting one with 3 questions, and I will show you, or we will show you in a minute, the environment. And the second, this is what I put in today, the photogrammetry workshop, because we were over the weekend in a theme park. And it was really funny, but also worked, because we have scanned with the different photogrammetry apps more than 40 objects. And I would like to share in this session how to do this, compare different apps, show you how to use this in the virtual reality and bring it into the virtual reality. And hopefully you will join me in this session, and I will discuss with you and share with you the idea of how to bring this into the MetaVerse. Yeah, Alex.
What's the definition of the word photogrammetry?
So especially photogrammetry is a methodology where you take photos of an object and you take around, let me say, 50 photos from different angles, and then you put this into an app, and the app will produce out of these photos a 3D object. And this is especially for the MetaVerse pretty cool, because you can do very simple and very elegant scan of a 3D object and bring this directly in here with a few clicks, and that is really straightforward process, and anybody is able to do this just with a smartphone. And in this session, I will give you some examples and show you this. Ah, there's another. Hello, we are outside.
Robert.
Hello.
Robert, hello? Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes,
Hello?
der Michael.
Hi, Michael.
And we hear another
Hello.
voice from inside, so we are outside. So go to the spawn point. Okay,
Hallo.
der Thomas schaut. Sehr gut. Yeah,
Love it.
this is photogrammetry. So take pictures from an object, and then a software will produce this and render out the 3D object. And there's a real interesting development at the moment with artificial intelligence, because what happened there is that you don't have pictures and a point cloud, but you will produce out of these pictures a so-called neural radiation field. And this is a complete different representative of an object. And you can do much more with this nerve than with just the point cloud. And this is also what I would like to show you. And I did scans with nerve or with the radiation field and apps there. Luma AI is one of these apps, and with Metascan, this is another one. And we can compare the outcome, which is pretty interesting. And I will show you this here also in this session. Okay. So feel free. Yeah.
A time frame. So these are the 5-hour slots, or does it go farther down?
No, it goes further down.
Okay, very good. I just was wondering if there were time slots that were in a US accessible time frame.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And if it's a little bit later, don't hesitate to say, well, okay, let's do it at whatever, 8 o'clock PM Central European time, because finally it's yours, and we will manage to have a facilitator also with this, also for this time frame. And I hope that also educators in VR will help us out here for facilitators if it's a later time frame than just 6 PM Central European.
I guess there was another question from Alexandra, and I didn't hear the answer and the question.
Yeah, it's a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Robert, I would like to know if the objects after the photogramming process are possible to color, change the color or things like this.
Wow, that's a pretty interesting question. That is possible, but you need an additional tool. So if you import this to Blender, then you can change the color of the texture,
Okay.
and then export it back, and then export it into the VR platform. And then you have a different color.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Any further question? Okay. Then let's go to one of the breakout rooms. And the first thing here in Marie Curie is really the photogrammetry stuff. So just go into the portal. Then you need to put in a password or a passcode. And the passcode here is 4242. And then you can load the environment, and we'll be there in the breakout room Marie Curie. And then the objects will load directly if you are there. So go in, put 4242 as the passcode, and then we will meet in Marie Curie.
Hey, Robert. Are you there? I'm not seeing where I enter a passcode. Am I in the wrong place,
So-
perhaps?
There will be no. So go again through the portal, and then there will be a kind of input field where you can click in and then put in. So hello in the first breakout room.
It's
Thomas is
possible to
sitting
sit here.
sitting beside the frog.
So great.
So these are some artifacts from a theme park. The theme park is called. You know, it's not. It will not become a queen. Sorry. The theme park is the so-called Europa Park. It's the biggest theme park in Europe. And as I mentioned, I have around 40 I did 47 or so, but 7 of these scans I had to delete because they were more or less not operatable. And these are a few. The first one here in this area, and you
So
can
lovely
walk a little
frog you
bit
have there,
around.
Ernst.
You can walk a little bit around, and you see a difference. This is a photogrammetry scan. Then you have, I think there is a LiDAR scan, and the dragon as well is a LiDAR scan. And you see what happened, which is really awesome. So the quality. So these are 49 images of these skull or skeleton. And if you take a look at the door, that is such a high quality that's awesome. And it's really
amazing.
49 images. And the first time I did it in more or less two layers. So I go nearer to the object and do the upper half and then the lower half. And then I combine the pictures. And that is a real great outcome.
With Metascan, Opa,
Yeah,
oder?
and I use Metascan at the moment.
Yeah.
I tried also Scaniverse and
Yes, I tried it too.
and a few others, but the challenge with the others is that they do not handle the export, the FBX export from a data perspective pretty good. So this has, I guess, 4 megabytes, and if you do the same with Scaniverse, you have 12 or so, and that's especially for standalone headsets, that's a nightmare.
Yes. I prefer Metascan at the moment too.
Yeah.
And you can use normal photos. You can use it with every smartphone. Not
Yeah, right.
LiDAR scanner is not necessary.
Yeah, I use LiDAR scans, especially if I have large rooms. So
For large room, it's
till
okay,
now
but
I
for
never
objects-
I never get a good outcome with photogrammetry in large rooms. That is a nightmare.
It's not,
So I
that's
use
not easy,
LiDARs
then.
really for these bigger rooms.
What is the difference
Yeah, you
between
need-
LiDAR and
So
photogrammetry?
LiDAR, especially on some smartphones, you have a kind of a sensor. That's the so-called LiDAR sensor. This is a radar,
scanner.
a light radar range a sensor, and this will send out some radar beams and get the reflection and measure the distance between the telephone and the point of the reflection, and so it produces a point cloud with these radar scan. And this is pretty cool if you have a huge room, because then these LiDAR scans are more precise than the different photos of these rooms. And if you have an object that is in the middle where you can go around, then photogrammetry, so taking the photos and process the photos will have a much better outcome than LiDAR scans.
Got it. Thank you.
And what is the real height of this?
This is
problem with
round about 2 meters. So
Oh, okay, 2
especially,
meters. No,
I open this, so especially it's the real height is like
okay,
this.
that's
So
the
it's
real size. Because it's
yeah,
not
this is
easy.
the real.
If it's higher than 3 meters, it's not easy to scan.
So I guess this is the night. Yeah, right. But there are really also some objects that are on such a podest and around 3 meters. And if you do this from below, you have also pretty good results. The challenge then is, but you never will see this, that the hair.
The head.
So here you will have no texture.
Yes. For large objects, I use a drone.
Yes, of course. That is another way.
With Pix4D, for example.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pix4D mapper. And
Yeah,
Pix4D
absolutely.
software.
And the good thing with drones is you can predefine the navigation and the path they should fly and the amount of photos they should shoot. And then you can do other things. Challenge is, in a theme park, it's really hard to use a drone for scanning.
I think it was low.
Easy.
Yeah. And this is a nice one here, the unicorn. And after I scanned this object, I thought about a kind of a game. So especially you can put an invisible sit trigger on it, and then you can ride more or less this unicorn. Let me check out whether I have it here.
Is that similar to the Harleys in the
Yes.
Fat Boy Slim event? I could not figure out how to get on one of those bikes. It was very frustrating.
Oh. MC02, let's check whether I have it. No, I don't have it here. I have it on the other account. Yeah, and then have something like Quidditch with unicorns. So a ball, 2 different balls, and then a sit trigger. You have 2 people on the unicorn. The first is flying. The second pilot is grabbing the ball. And I'm thinking about a little game here in the VR for these elements. And I did also some kind of, especially for the referees, some scans of a small sheep. So the referees will have a sheep to fly around. That's the idea at the moment. So it's not quite ready, but the first I start with the first steps of these gaming. Perhaps we can start a session during our OpenSpace gaming produce a game in the MetaVerse. Perhaps this could be a nice session. Okay, and let's go over. I changed the location. Hopefully this will work to the sustainability area. Let's check where it is. So I think it's here. So it will go dark, and then we will find ourselves in the creator room grass. So and this is the preparation of the and this is the preparation of the Sustainability World Cafe. So there is the description of a World Cafe. There are the first 3 questions. There are the sustainability goals, and you have 3 areas, and you split the team that will join the session by 3, and then they can start to answer this question, and then they circle around, and they can start by the second team can start by the outcome of the first team. So which means that the second team will already have some input and will be able to develop more deeper output and can put their output on the input from the group before. And that's the idea of the World Cafe. And here you see some post-its. That was the prototype we did with the educators in VR group. And here's the spawn point, and you have the steps. The first steps are here to the description. So just follow these steps, and then you follow through the first area to the second, third, and then come back here for a wrap-up. And the three questions for the different areas are, first of all, name, describe, and discuss some initiatives.
Schöner.
The second question is name, describe, and discuss the impact of these initiatives. So you define initiatives, then ask the outcome. And the third one is name, describe, and discuss how to integrate the sustainable development goals, especially the final station will cover the topic of the balance between business and social goals. And this is, from my point of view, a really great discussion, because if you think more in terms of business, it's sometimes really hard to find out how to integrate social things or social sustainability development goals into your business approach. And to start the discussion, I think, and I guess, is very fruitful and very important. And this is the third area here. Yeah, that's it so far. Any further question? So perhaps a short wrap up. So you saw our MetaVerse, that's the starting point. That is the area where we can have 100, 150 people come together, meet there, and then we have different breakout rooms, at the moment 10, where you can there in these breakout rooms have the different sessions like this here. This is one preparation. And we use the methodology OpenSpace for this event, which means you are in charge of the session. It's not predefined from us. It's more or less, we will integrate also a few sessions, but these are your sessions, your interests, your needs you want to know, you want to discuss. And we take care that we put them into a kind of calendar, into an overview, and then you can join this session you like. So it's really, you are really free to find out what are the sessions that give you the most output and give you the most interesting part. You can grab things, but also sessions you thought your experience is a value add on to these sessions. So you can join both of these areas and then have a discussion or have a workshop, like here, the sustainability workshop.
Good.
That's it. Can you further questions?
Yeah, Robert, I'm sorry.
No problem.
No problem.
Anybody else?
Want to ask
I had my share of questions.
Okay.
I wanted to ask about your plans for socializing this event and marketing, attracting people, and how we may be able to help with that.
Yeah, so at the moment we're pushing really hard on LinkedIn and on educators in VR. So these are at the moment from a social platform, LinkedIn as the platform, the educators in VR as the community that will help us to push this out. And if you have some ideas or in your community, just send me a PM and then we can discuss how you can help pushing this to your community.
Is there a LinkedIn group for educators in VR?
Yes, there's a LinkedIn group for educators in VR, but also we have our own. We call this, and Thomas, you will help me. It's VR meeting in
Business.
the metaverse, or so business meeting. Yes.
Business in a
Business
meeting in the
meeting,
metaverse.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can connect each other, and then
Yeah, we send out the link to you, Alex, and then you can.
Yeah, that will be the easiest way.
You can use
to
this.
send you a link to connect our
Yep.
community. Hmm?
I would really like that. I've recently became involved with the VRAR Association out of Atlanta, and I see a lot of ideas for promoting this and would love to talk about it further.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that will help. Thanks a lot.
Cool.
Okay.
Sure. I
Done?
think the last thing is to say, don't hesitate to contact us if you have any
Yes.
further questions.
Yes, and
We are
stay
open.
tuned on LinkedIn, so we will push out daily posts and daily news, and contact us, join our groups, and hopefully we will see you at the event. And thanks a lot for joining us on the YouTube stream. For anybody out there, thanks a lot. Don't hesitate to contact us, to join us, ask any further question you like to ask. And yes, thanks a lot.